Good. Not as well as Charlie.
Big game tonight. East Tennessee, Wofford. First place in the league. Isn't that right, Rob?
Dogfight. Be dogfight.
Oh, it will be that. Yep.
Get it?
Wofford.
Thank you.
Funny.
Jimmy's not here, so who's going to start?
Probably Rob. Coach, I mean, after you looked at the South Carolina game, game the other night, what stood out the most for you? You like the defense?
Yeah, and it was physical, and you made a comment about it. It was like the games that we won a year ago, and you're right. And I think that's really what you get into this time of year, where both teams. I mean, Missouri played really, really hard, which we knew they would, and their defense, they played it what we would do. And I do think offensively we weren't very good in terms of doing the things that we wanted to, but defensively overall, other than the fact offensive rebounding. But it was a game where both teams played really hard, and it was a very physical game, and you really kind of expect that this time of year, and if anything else, you expect it to get even tougher.
What's the biggest thing y'all learned about Florida in that first matchup down there?
Well, they change defenses, and they try to disguise some things where they're doing it even more now, where they'll show one thing, go to something else real quick. A pick and roll team, everybody knows they're a spread pick and roll team, and they'll shoot it quick, and transition is a big part of it, so transition defense will be very, very important. Rebounding the ball again, because there's going to be a lot of long rebounds that come out of it, but recognize they're changing defenses, and we have to handle that.
Coach, you've had 4 or 5 different games of giving up double-digit three-pointers. How much of that is just teams giving you their best shot at making shots that they normally wouldn't, and how much is that the way you defend in the three-point line?
Well, again, I think some of it is teams making shots, but yet when we go back and look, we always break down why we gave up shots, and there's some of them that we are slow with our rotation, but the fact is they make them. And some of that might be the fact that teams come out and know that they have a chance to beat a ranked team, and so you got to give them credit for that. But some of them we've defended well, and I would say most of them we have defended better, even though we could say we could get there a little bit quicker. It's the ones where we don't even get a hand up, the ones that really bother you, or the ones that you give up when you break down your scouting report, like when you go under a screen over it, where you tag too long. Those are ones that we can fix, and some of them, when they just raise up and make shots, there's not a whole lot you can do about those.
The other night, Konzo mentioned that Kyle Alexander against them has had some of his better games because of the attention that Grant Williams warrants. When Alexander's been in that situation where the team's giving Grant a bunch of attention, how do you think he's done?
You would expect it. I think all of our guys benefit when there's a double team, when people are going to double team one particular player. I think that's why we have to work on every day with, Grant being double teamed, and one reason we have to move him around as much as we can. But once he's double teamed, there are spots on the floor guys have to get to, and his first look would be to try to find Kyle right by the rim. And everybody knows it, and it's a matter of we can execute what we call our red coverage better than they can execute their double team coverage. But Kyle, when Kyle's playing his best, there's no question. He's not looking for points. He's locked in defensively. He's aggressive. He's rebounding the ball. He's letting other guys create offense, and he's cleaning it up. And when he's running the floor and he's posting up hard. And I would say this, there's times he should have gotten the ball more than he has, and those guys have to trust him, because in the past there's times they didn't, which is understandable, but now he's gotten to a point now where he's really down wanting it, and he should get it.
Coach, Jeremy Pruitt said that how well your team has played actually helped him recruit. What do you think when you hear that? Well,
I would say the same thing about any of our sports here. When they're doing well, the recognition that comes with our university and our programs, and I tell everyone there's no one that's going to have a better fall visit than us because of what the football team does. And so, yeah, I think we all have to feed off each other, and I think that we all know that when good things are happening within our university athletic department, it benefits all of us. And so, again, I've been at football schools, and I've been at some non-football schools, and I tell you, you want to be around a football program. And even in the spring, if you have spring visits, whether you have people come in and what's happening on campus might be a women's softball game, and you see the atmosphere of our fans there, baseball, whatever it may be, it helps all of us, because you talk about the love affair that's created here between our fan base and the volunteers. And so I think we all help each other.
What changes in recruiting when you're having the success that you're having? I know you all probably don't change your approach, but is there a difference?
Well, I do think that people are you make a call, people are going to certainly take that call and get to it. But again, I go back to my coaching staff, the fact that they're great at understanding what we want, what we do. But there's no doubt that I've always said it. I think young people are very current, and it can get you there. And what we've always said, if we can get people to campus, we feel like we have a great shot at it because of what goes on here, how we do things, how our athletic department does things, and how the university does things. So I don't think there's any question that it certainly helps.
Coach Jordan Bone's been playing so good, it's kind of overshadowed Lamonte. It's like he's playing, playmaking wise. His assist numbers have been really up the past couple games.
Well, again, you go back, our 3 guards, I think, have done a good job. I thought, again, the last game, I thought Jordan Bone pressed a little bit too much the last game out. Normally when he leads us in shot attempts, his mind's not totally where it needs to be, but the fact is, we know that when he's aggressive, that's when we play well too. Lamonte has been, from the time that he's worked his way back in, has been as consistent as anybody that we've had, and I think he's getting better defensively. I think Jordan Bone the other night worked hard defensively, and Bowden is normally consistent. Those 3 guys are unbelievably important because they get probably the crux of most of the workload on the perimeter with getting hit with ball screens and those type things. But it goes back what we said from day one. We need them all. We need them all right now to be at the top of it. And I don't think that I'd like to think that we haven't played our best basketball yet, and I just hope we can keep working towards that.
How much of a luxury is it to be able to put 3 guys out there, Jordan, Lamonte, both Jordans, that can guard the point, and defensively you can switch some stuff, I guess?
Well, it does, and again, we like to switch, and we think all 3 of those guys can defend the post. If we switch, off to a post man, we think they'll work hard enough to do it, knowing they got to get help from their teammates. And then when you throw Eve out there, we feel like if we are playing the way we want to play, that we can keep constant pressure on the perimeter. But we've got to guard it out there too. If you can't stay in front of the ball, it breaks down everything. And we know we can get better there, or we know we have to get better there. The question is, can we improve in that area? Because we do need to do that.
Coach, a lot of programs, sports teams, they're very structured in what they say. The players really can't talk that much, or they always have coach speak. Your team is very different. They show personality. You guys let them show personality, and they handle it well, seemingly. Well, why is that a part of your program, do you think?
Well, I think when you walk in the gym, it's up there, humility, respect, and responsibility. And what the respect part comes in is the fact that we talk about everybody that we come in contact with is important. Like your job is important to you. And we expect our players to respect you and the work you have to do. And we also know in sports that sometimes things can be written that you don't like, but that's part of it. And you got to take the good with the bad. But I think honesty is the biggest key. And I want our guys' personalities to come out. And I think that part of the process of them going through college is they have to learn to deal with media. This is a great opportunity for them to let people see their personalities. It's a great opportunity for them to show what our program is about, and we're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think that we're trying to be as authentic with ourselves as much as anything, and hopefully it goes over when they deal with you all. But I've said to them before, everybody's job's important to them, and we've got to treat people like that, and we've got to make sure that we understand the core values of our program, and that's really being respectful of people, and I hope they are. And do I think sometimes they get tired of dealing with the media and some of this? I think they probably do, because it's natural. But the fact is, they know that you all have a job to do, and they know that they're in a position that they have a responsibility to fulfill that. And again, I hope they're honest, and I do hope they let their personalities come out, and we don't muzzle them. And I think a lot goes to Tom Satkoviak and his staff, that he knows what he needs to, where he needs to put them in front of and what he needs to do, but we just want them to be as real as they can possibly be.
Two more. Rick, you're at the point of the year where every win is a new program record for you. Do you find you have to mix up the ways you motivate the guys, or are they pretty well individually motivated on their own at this point?
Well, you don't ever stop having conversation with your team. You don't ever just say, we're going to ride the wave and see how far it's going to take us. I mean, there's always something when you look at your team and you break down a game. like Jordan Bone didn't play as well as he had been playing our last game, and you just don't think, well, okay, he's going to come back without having some conversation and talk to it. But in terms of winning and records, I mean, we haven't talked a lot about that. We talk about practice. We talk about preparation. We talk about doing our work today and wanting to get ready today to before the game we play Saturday, and so we really try to stay focused that way. And I just think that when you start letting and it's there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Our guys read and they do it, and sometimes I really tell them at some point in time they've got to shut it all out, and they can't get consumed with that, especially if they let it creep into the way they play, which it does happen, and it's not anybody's fault but their own, because they should be mature enough now with what we've gone through, the guys that certainly have played key minutes, to realize that you're only as good as your last time out, and these guys know that when we played Missouri, and taking nothing away from them, but we have some guys that we know that need to play better, and that's what you address. And we know guys that did okay. We got to keep pushing them forward.
Has Florida evolved or tweaked anything or changed?
A lot. I think Coach White is doing that. He's going to keep searching. He's going to keep finding a way defensively. They're doing some things, where they'll show something, do this, one pass, do that. So, again, he's trying to really work hard at keeping you off balance, and he's continued to work with his lineup to get what he wants, and does a really good job, because he's, just what I'm talking about. He's got one thing in mind, that's to continue to help his team improve. We know they're going to fight hard to be in the NCAA tournament, and we all know now, coming down the backside of this schedule, every one of these games matter, and we've got to be ready, because we know, I can tell you, they're going to be ready.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.